welcome back to my channel. Let me start by saying happy Mother's Day. I have so many shout outs to give. Shout out to all the moms doing the thing, gentle parenting, being emotionally available, breaking generational curses, and just bossing it in this generation. I see you, I am you. From one mama to another, it's nothing but love here. Well done. Praying that God continually strengthens us for this assignment. Amen. Also, shout out to moms in waiting. I promise you there is light right at the end of that tunnel. I pray that the last loss will be the last ever. I pray that restoration will come in double folds for you, speedily and without delay. Shout out to all the single girls, newlyweds, that are not even thinking about motherhood, or maybe they're just fantasizing about it. It will reach you. It's gonna be your turn. But I just wanted to sit here and talk about some of the things along the way that I've heard. Motherhood meets, things I didn't know. Just this video might be all over the place, but let's take it in. Grab a cup of coffee or whatever it is you do on Sundays to make you feel well rested. So let's jump right into it. One thing I have to say, addressing the last set of people I spoke about, please, if you're newlywed, I want you to educate yourself about ovulation, safe period, fertile window, because it's almost like they don't teach these things in school enough. Honestly, in retrospect, in my first year of marriage, I actually didn't know that there was a time that I was most fertile. And I know it's not far-fetched. Somebody watching this might not know. I once had a mentee too who, subscribed to my mentoring school just because of this. So everything you need is on Google. If you download any app that controls menstruation or whatever, you're going to see it. 5 days after your period is supposed to be your safe period, where the chances of getting pregnant is lower and things like that. I just want to bring that out here to say, please educate yourself. This is a tech age. Everything is online. Don't just be caught sleeping. You'll be surprised that some people are praying to God for the fruit of the womb when they are not taking in the works of knowing that there is a higher percentage of me getting pregnant in this season. You gotta wake up and do 12 midnight, most fertile window. Okay, honey, point to me. TMI, sorry. Get yourself together, solutions. I will. Anyways, I wanted to put that out of the way. And then on the broader scale, since becoming a mom myself, I'm a mom of two. If you're new here, I have a beautiful girl who turns 4 in May, and I have a charming, handsome boy who is about 15, 16 months now. Anyway, in this journey of motherhood that I've been on for almost 4 years now, it's been one story or the other. Put my trying to conceive years, put my miscarriage, everything in the mix. We've been on this journey for a while, and it's just some things I've heard, a lot of misinformation, a lot of things that need to be brought to light that I just want to share here. The first thing I'm going to talk about is that saggy boobs happen when you breastfeed. Bruh, if you go on Google, you're literally going to see that it is the ligaments in your boobs that control the firmness or the sagginess of your breast. It is not 100% because you're breastfeeding. Now, we know that ligaments can stretch if you choose to breastfeed or breastfeed for long, but whether or not you breastfeed, because your boobs get so big when you're pregnant based on hormones, when you're not pregnant again and the HCG, I think that's the pregnancy one. There's another one they do for you when they're trying to see if your tubes are flowing. I mixed it up, but anyway, when those hormones are gone and they've left your body, your breast will now shrink back. So the ligaments that have stretched no longer have room to stay. That's where the fall happens. So once you kiss motherhood, you can expect a particular drop. The next time you expand, more drop. It is not because you chose to breastfeed or not. Because I've heard people say, I don't want to breastfeed because I don't want to have saggy boobs. Except, of course, you don't have hormones in your body. Once you just have hormones based on pregnancy and the stretch becomes, beyond what it is when you're having a period or whatever, that kind of stretch that happens in pregnancy for the whole 9 months is what will automatically, make your boobs fall, not just breastfeeding. I hope that makes sense. And while on it, I also want to address backing. So if you're not African, backing is a way where you put your child on your back and tie some clothes to just support. Now, I've had people ask me that, oh, I heard that backing a child gives you saggy breast. And I'm like, the ignorance is smelling. No, that is not what gives you saggy breast. Like I just mentioned, that's a ligament problem, not a backing problem. Like, how is it that when you tie clothes here, are you really tying the clothes? I don't know how that can happen, but no, sis, that is not what gives you saggy breast. Do your research, confirm it, but back your child if you want to back your child. I know that babies see that as a good form of comfort. My mom is around, and just like 3 days ago, she backed my son. He had his first nap, and around 4 p.m. he had lunch, and homeboy just slept off. I'm like, wait, what? Are you supposed to be having 2 naps a day? Like, he slept for a good 1 hour 30 minutes because he was just enjoying the comfort of grandma's back. So I mean, I did it a lot with my son. I didn't really do it with my daughter. But generally, I stop backing when you start adding weight. When the child starts adding weight, I stop backing because my back too has already been through. Okay, let's not put it through more things. But backing is not what gives you saggy breast as well. Next thing I'm going to say is cesarean section makes your tummy big. CS is bad for your tummy. Lies. Okay, rewind. Not really lies, but you see how people attach so much fear to the fact that when you have a CS, it's hard to snap back. No. Point here is whatever happens during CS postpartum is the same thing that can happen if you have a natural vaginal birth. And I'll explain. Diastasis recti, a lot of you know that is something that I'm trying to work on and fix, and of which I just realized that tendons don't really get fixed, only muscles can. So I'm just like, chile, will this ever go away? Anyway, I digress. So when you have a child and you already have a diastasis recti, which is the opening in the core, you have like opening in your abdominal walls. They open to give room to your baby to stay. If you already have that, whether you now bring out that child through vagina or you bring that child through scissors and cesarean, the diastasis is already there. It's already there. It's not just because it's CS. I'm saying that the issue is more fundamental to the frame of the woman, the way the woman is made to carry a child and birth a child, not necessarily because of the method of birth, if that makes sense. So let's not make this about CS, because it really isn't about CS. It's just when you give birth to a child, tummy's going to get big. Your tummy's going to get big. If you ate a lot during your pregnancy, you expect that all that fat will still find, home and solace in your belly. It's not really because, I did CS. Now, I think the aftermath though, why people just say, CS makes your tummy big, is in Africa as well. There's something people do after they give birth, like they will tie your tummy, like especially in the Igbo part of Nigeria. They will give you different. I think for the soups, you can even take it irrespective of how you give birth. But the tummy tying, the warming your body, because I know my mother-in-law did that for me a lot. My mom was like, I didn't do this, but warming your body, massaging your body with hot water and things like that really helps, to release excess blood or whatever is not needed. And you can't really do that if you have a cesarean, just because you're so fragile. The pain comes after for people who have a cesarean, so it's hard to do those things, and those are the times that your body is able to really snap back, so to put it. Like, all those things will add to how well your tummy goes down, tying it and stuff like that. But you can't really do that with CS, so you're left with doing extra work, if that makes sense. So it's more of the aftermath as well. But saying that CS makes your tummy big in itself is a big fat lie. Next thing I'll say, so I've had 2 cesareans, and one was done in Nigeria, the other in Canada. Some people have asked me to actually do the difference, and maybe I will do it, but maybe we'll get to it. Anyway, when I had my first in Nigeria, they gave us, we bought cotton wool and spirit, alcohol, spirit, whatever, to put on the abdomen, right? So that it will allow the cord, the stump, fall off. And we'll be doing it religiously for good. I think my daughter's one came off after a couple of days. We'll be doing it religiously every day. Bruh. Tell me why when I gave birth here in the West, nobody asked me to do anything like that. And the stump still came off. Now, to be fair, my son's own here took like 2 more extra days to come off. than my daughter, but everything still came off neatly and nicely. And guys, am I weird? I'm that mom who keeps my children's stuff. I keep it. For Soteria, I was in my Bible for so, it was in a Bible for so long. For Toria, anyway, I digress. So, excuse me. So I don't know if you're a medical person here. I don't really want to say that, oh, this doesn't have any advantage or whatever, but just saying that, oh, you must do it. Even if you don't do it, nothing's gonna happen. But the way they were so strict with it when I had my first is like, if you don't do it, it's gonna get infected. If you don't do it, she's gonna have a protruding abdomen. No, none of my kids have a protruding abdomen, and I did it for one, I didn't do it for another. So goes to say, it's just Makazua. It's just a myth, I think. But if you have more medical background and know why that should be done, please definitely keep the conversation going in the comment. Let's know from your point of view what you think. Okay, next one I want to say, my mother-in-law is going to come for me. But next one I would say is, you see, bathing a child with palm oil is in two layers. They will first bathe the child with palm oil, and then they will throw the child up a particular number of times. Bathing the child with palm oil, my mother-in-law did it for my first, but I was like, Canada, and she didn't come for Mugo. It was my mom who came for Mugo, and we didn't do it for my second. Tell me why. My son does not have a body odor, because my mother-in-law told me that time that, oh, you have to, like, the child to sleep, and then it will avoid any body odor, all the things the baby came to the world with, she's going to wash it away with palm oil, which I did. I was just looking like this. My mom was so oblivious to that too. She was just looking at me too, and we were literally sat there. My mother-in-law was showering Soteria with palm oil, saying that, no body odor. And then, guys, I don't think I shared this before, but you see how when she was done showering for Soteria with palm oil, she was literally throwing her up 7 times. Mom, why are you doing that? She said, oh, she's not going to be scared. It's going to make her so strong. I'm like, wow, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But I'm just like, guys, throw out that throw. I was so scared. And that's why, sometimes to Google is good, because we're in a new age. A lot of things that would happen to people in the olden days, they didn't know why, obviously, because they were not well informed. So like my friend said, her mom said, you people are raising internet babies. I said it's good, because you can never be too careful, because I had read that, shaking the baby, throwing them up in that little, age can mess up with their brain, like their everything is still very fragile. So that's why you're like really careful. So I think it was before the naming, maybe 4 days. Yeah, 4 days after we got home. And this was still someone that had jaundice, guys. I was just like, hey. But obviously, too, I couldn't tell my mother-in-law to stop, because like I always tell you, it's her grandchild, too. She doesn't mean to hurt her grandchild. She knows she's doing what she knows is best, And that's why my mom, too, will back my daughter and put one leg here at 1 month. And I'll be like, Mom, no. If you want to back her, keep her legs straight. And I think a couple of people saw it in my vlogs when I was backing my son here in Canada. And it's like, why are you putting, even my friend Osa, she was like, why are you putting his legs? Like, put the legs. I'm like, no, you can make the leg bow. Don't separate the legs, because naturally they can't when they are 6 months and their legs can really go wide apart. Then you can start stretching it. Guys, I'm that mom, I can't lie. So I'm saying that these are the things they know and grew up with. I remember Madam Ego, my nanny in Nigeria, when she came, my daughter was 6 months, and when she's showering for my daughter, she would just take her neck, wash it. I'm like, we don't do that here. She was like, I've been a nurse before. This is what, like, so me, I really zone into that easy does it fragile thing. But anyway, on the myth I was talking about is that palm oil washes away body odor. It's a myth. If you want to do it. Like I said, it's a grandchild too, so feel free, do what you want to. And I know that, so that this is where being responsible comes in. You already know that this person too will not hurt your child. Plus, my daughter was my mother-in-law's, I think 8th or maybe 7th. She has had a couple of grandchildren before my daughter, and she did all of those things. So I know that if anything bad wants to happen, it will not start from my child. It's not even, nothing bad will even happen, so I didn't want to not cause any friction because of that. And honestly, that's some daughter-in-law wisdom. Take from that what you will. But I just needed to say that I don't think that took away body odor. And my mother-in-law was like, oh my son, she will sleep. Literally the moment, because my mother-in-law will go and come for that Omugo, but my mom was staying. Literally the moment she left to her house, My daughter started crying. I'm like, no, it didn't work. But anyway, I think it's just a myth. And obviously, the throwing up part, you will not be scared. Fam, tell me why my daughter is what, 7 months, 8 months. And when the church service and when the speaker comes on, she will just jerk. I had to call my mom because it was a convention that we did in Accra. I had to call my mom, please come and carry Soteria from this church. She can't be here. She's too little. Like, so I don't think training her up to took away fear from her. Like, we are Africans. I love it. Our culture is so rich. And sometimes so I feel like these things are like slowly fading away. A lot of us are moving to the West. Even people in Nigeria are not speaking their native languages to their kids. I feel bad that so how are we going to retain this? My husband thinks that in a couple of years to come that some languages will become extinct, and it's just so sad. But at the same time too, these are the culture that were like I beg, God help all of us. So like my friend's mom said, let's keep raising internet babies, but not to say that we now take away like fully. Like for me, I still believe that I really want my kids to understand my native language is like the least I can do. She sees me backing her brother. Now if I don't have any other child after my son, then he doesn't know what backing looks like. But I mean, change gets Then one more thing I'm going to say is, you see, they say don't do the do for 6 weeks. Now medically this is correct because I was told by my gynae after I had my baby, do not. However, I'm just saying, like, I feel like, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say anything that will make it seem like I'm contradicting medicine. But guys, I know people who were doing the do 3 weeks, 2 weeks into having a baby. Now, I would say, one time, my husband were even having a conversation that, what, is he running away? Like, what's the problem? Like, let your wife heal. Because for one person, though, it was even from a place of, if you don't give me, I'll go outside. And that was really disgusting. Like, men, do better. But overall, it's like, it's not running away. 6 weeks is the least you can do. And I know of people who would not even be in a, apart from physical aspect of you can't do it, it's just that I have not mentally recovered. Like, some of my friends could not poop. One of my friends could not poop for like 8 weeks. She was terrified to poop. And I'm like, is that even medically safe? So I can't poop and I want to choke something into me. Sorry. But said that to say, I feel like also on the general scale, it is like case by case. Some people, it would be preferred for them to abstain for even maybe up to 8 weeks or 10 weeks, just because maybe they had a bad tear or maybe their CSK is infected or yada yada. While some people really maybe at 3 weeks, 2 weeks, maybe you're good to go. So the word in itself is not a myth, but just to say that most times it's also a case by case method. But I guess they just give us the average of it anyway. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to come on here and chat on this Mother's Day on, some of the motherhood myths I've heard along the line and stuff like that. Let me know if you enjoyed this myth video. I do want to film a marriage myth with my husband. Looking forward to that. And also, if you want to see more motherhood myths video, or if you have any other motherhood myth you've heard that didn't work for you or maybe worked for you, let us know. I know that there's also a lot for pregnancy. Like, you have a boy but I guess that's why they are called myths. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. This was so fun to film. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Whenever your heart is broken.